Is it possible to build a business from scratch as one person using only the books written by Alex Hormozi? Now, I'm a big follower of Alex and I think he's got a lot of good content, but, and I'm sure I speak for a lot of people, I have historically been someone who has always consumed content, read things, watched things, and never really done anything with that. I recently was able to work. I've been ill for a long time. I finally managed to sort my condition on some new medication, which is helpful. So physically now I'm able to work, and I've been wanting to start a business. I've been saying I am starting a business, but like many people, I'm sure I'm guilty of procrastinating and basically not doing what I say I'm doing, especially to the extent that I think is required in order to have anything, be successful. You can say you're dieting, which I have done. You could say you're exercising, which I have done. You can say you're building a business, which I have done. And if you're not putting in the right actions or dedicating the right time, the right resources to it, are you really doing it? Probably not, right? You're just saying it. So the question really is it possible to do it? And not only to do it, but to do it without having to read and watch so many different things from so many different people, because there's so much advice out there. Gary Vee, you've got Jesse Iltzer, you've got Alex Hormozi, you've got all sorts of people giving advice out there, and who do you trust? Whose advice is going to work? And the truth of the matter is most of the advice would probably work if you give it a shot. So I'm going to narrow down the options. I like a lot of Alex's stuff. I've attended both of his book launches. I bought 100 million offers as well. So I'm going to be using those, and I'm going to be building a business. Now, what business? So it's kind of difficult to come up with an idea and do an idea when you've had such a long period of time being out of work, like I have. Especially because I've not made use of that time productively. I was ill, but also it's not, there's a guy who's got. I heard a story about a guy who's got polio. I think he's got. They call him iron lungs, so he's on like some sort of ventilator machine, and he wrote a book just being able to move like one thumb and one thumb and one finger, something along those lines. So, and that's a bit of an extreme example, but just because I was unable to do work in the way that most people have been able to, doesn't mean that there was nothing that I could do. So yeah, instead of spending time trying to figure out what to do and coming up with some new idea, I figured that I would just choose a skill, something I enjoy, something I have a little bit of experience with, and do that. Now, I decided to do content creation. It's a little bit ironic that I seem to be good at helping other people with their content, but I've not done any successfully for myself. I started a series which was Fat to Fit in 90 days, and I could not, for the life of me, get through sticking to it. Mainly because the advice I was given, which I'm sure works, was niche down, do this particular idea you've got, etc. And I'm an ideas man, to my benefit and to my detriment. Perhaps there's too many of us out there who've got ideas and struggle with execution, but I've got all these fantastic ideas for content, for series, and basically I can't stick to them. Now, I'm now in a position where I kind of have to stick to this because it's either this or get a job. I managed to sign one client with this. I've also applied for a particular job local to me, and I'm doing another job which is commission only. But I want the flexibility. It's been a long time now. I'm 27. I've spent a long time out of work until this year, basically. I went to college, which is in the UK. That's from 16 to 18. It's not the same as college in the US, which is university. I didn't go to university, but I struggled a lot. I just I feel like the older you get, it's kind of harder to reset your life, and unless you have to, and I'm in a position right now where, I have to. I made a few decisions. I won't go into exactly it, but I invested some money that I had on a course. I'm trying to better myself is the theme here. And one of the biggest struggles I have at the moment is I'm broke. I've borrowed some money off my family in order to live. And I say live, I'm being a little bit dramatic, but I just mean in order to, for costs of existing and in a modern day society, and it's now time, 27, I'm almost 30. I still live at home. Yes, granted, I've had my challenges, but it's now time for me to grow up and for me to pursue things with a degree of seriousness of which I haven't done, and also I haven't been able to do to the degree of which I thought was required. Not being able to work is a strange one, because I won't go into it too much, but it's you have the opposite problem if you have too much time than most people. Most people, they're trying to find time. When you've got too much time, I don't think that's good for you either. I think you want to be in the middle. So to be productive, to make productive use of your time, it has to be somewhat scarce, somewhat regulated, and because otherwise there's nothing demanding more of you. So basically the start of this series is building a business from scratch, and I've got a rough idea of how to do it. Number one is offers. So like I mentioned before, content creation is what I'm doing. I'm going to be using the 100 million offers Alex Hormozi book, and I will be creating a Grand Slam offer. And I did this for my client that I sold recently. It's a lot less than what I would have liked, but you've got to start somewhere, So I'll be going through the process of creating the Grand Slam offer, because I think I did that pen and paper, and I want to get a digital document of it. I'll be going through the process of creating the offer. I'll do that on video, and just go through how I do it and what I think is the way that helps me using his system. And then I will, after that, go to 100 million leads and create a lead magnet, as well as a core strategy on marketing and how to get leads. Alex has got this thing called the Core 4, which is basically cold and warm, inbound and outbound, basically. So it's like content, paid ads, cold outreach or warm outreach. So cold outreach is speaking to people who you don't know, and warm outreach is speaking to family and friends. So we'll be picking one of those. I say we, and by we, of course, I mean me, I, and myself. So, yeah, I'll be picking one of those, doing a lead magnet, doing a general strategy, and then breaking down exactly how many leads I get from doing what, how much time I spent on that, how much that has turned into sales, and then how much money that has made, and the nitty gritty. That's the hope. And I am hesitant to use even that phrase because it seems somewhat unconfident. But I've never been. I want to be this person that keeps track of all of that, and I think it's important. And I say I think it's important, but also at the same time, I'm not very good at keeping track of it. So I will do that, and I'll try and keep it simple, but also get as much data that I think will be useful as well. And then after that, now I've not read 100 million money models yet. I will need to read that. I'll need to spend some time dedicated to reading that, because from what Layla said, Layla Hormozi, which is Alex's wife, she said that it's a lot closer to offers than it is his other book, Leads, 100 million leads, 100 million offers. And I'll see. I think for now, offers and leads is pretty damn good. Then there'll just be some other stuff like general administration, registering for tax, registering for if I have any sort of business groups or anything like that. I'm going to keep track of this. Now, the goal of this is to be a series where I'm in my my dad's cabin, my dad's shed on the back garden. And like I said, I'm currently I've currently borrowed a bit of money from family. I did manage to get a £500 from selling this client for 3 months' work. It's not great, but it's a start, But I got that paid up front, so that's helpful as well, because I need the money at the moment to pay bills, basically. So I'm going to be going through. It's a personal brand, but at the moment, the biggest constraint I have is money. I want to find a partner. I want to get married. I want to have kids. I've been unable to drive because of my condition, which recently I've been cleared for. So once I've got a bit of money, I need to learn to drive as well. So there'll be lots of stuff to come of me generally just improving my life and trying to become a better man. I want to get involved in the community. Recently, there's been quite a lot of problems with the UK, the community aspect of things, and I'm English. I think the world is in a place where it needs people to actually do good. And I don't mean do good as like, you're trying to, it's an ego thing. I mean people who just generally need to do good things, and they not to expect anything from it other than to do it because it's something that is good to do. So again, this series is about business, but that doesn't mean to say further down the line that things will not fall into place where if I've got a little bit more spare money. They say charity starts at home. I think that's it could be said ironically quite a few times, but I think it's true. I think you start with yourself, you start with your friends, you start with your family, and as you sort of put the pieces together, especially with yourself, you then become more, you have more influence over things, you become a higher agency individual, just someone who is capable of more. And being capable of more is, if you have the right nature and you're kind, and you have the right focus, allows you to do more. So currently I need to sort myself out, and that's the journey that this is, which is starting a business. And I would like to be somewhere along the, and I know this number gets thrown out a lot, but I would like to be 10k a month. That would be fantastic. But to be honest, a lot less, like 5k a month would be amazing. I'm not from a particularly wealthy family, so don't get me wrong, I'm not crying poverty, but 5k a month would be pretty damn good, especially considering I've not, this is my first year, which is kind of a bummer really, but a first year of business and starting business and working. So 5k a month would be crazy. That's more than most people are on that I know anyway. So yeah, I think we're going to start. Well, we're going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start tomorrow on 100 million offers and creating the offer for the content creation service that I'm performing. That'll be including, so the way that offers is broke down is it is a dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement, which can be boiled down really to the word trust. How much do I trust that you're going to deliver? Divided by effort/sacrifice. How much is required of the customer to do that, to get that result, times time delay. How long will it take them? And that the sort of the perfect offer is you get the dream outcome. You're certain that it's going to happen, and you get it instantly without having to wait and without having to put much effort in. And that makes it more valuable. So that's the general guide to these. That's the general guide to the offers, and then you have bonuses. So adding on extra little sprinkle on top of the icing, sprinkles on top of the ice cream, however you want to phrase it, and then you have guarantees, which completely or substantially eliminates the risk factor. Especially starting out, it can be difficult. I've not done a guarantee for the content creation I've been doing for this customer, purely because the guarantee that is suggested by Alex Hormozi is a satisfaction guarantee. I am by no means against that, but I need the money right now, right? So I needed that 500 quid. I've got the 500 quid. I'm not against doing a satisfaction guarantee for either the next client or perhaps starting the client after that. It all depends how successful this is. Lastly, is scarcity and urgency. So there's only so much work I can do, and to be honest, when I do deals on this, I want someone to buy within 24 hours, 48 hours max, really. So I do a deal and I say, look, this is the price, and if you order if you book my services within 24 hours of this conversation, this is the other price, So I want them to have some level of urgency as well. Scarcity-wise, again, there is only so much work I can do, especially performing a service. I'm filming, I'm editing, I'm then posting. I may partner with someone in the future, but right now, it's that stage of me doing everything myself. So yeah, I'm Luke, or Lucas. I'm sure you can see that down on the channel, but if you didn't know, and yeah, I'm basically trying to go from 27 broke, living at home, and single to successful, financially stable, and with my own property and my own family. And I think I speak for most of the young guys nowadays. That's kind of the goal, Make a bit of money, find a nice partner, a nice wife, and have some kids, That's pretty much it. So I appreciate you watching. I don't know if anyone will watch this, but this is the start of the series and where I'm at now. And the goal of this, aside from my own personal my own personal archives, is for people to be able to recreate the journey that I'm going through when it is successful, because I will become a better person. That is a fact. So long as I'm still here, I will become a better person, and I want to document the process of doing that. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more, then subscribe. I'd appreciate some comments about any suggestions or any advice or anything like that. Please keep it simple. I'm not trying to consume a load of content at the moment, so if it is about a book or it is about a channel or anything like that, though I do appreciate it, feel free to comment it, and I'll look back at it. But right now it's mainly just, let's crack on. I've consumed enough content. Let's assume Alex Hormozi knows what he's doing, and let's assume it's going to work for me. Why not? Why not? So yeah, thank you for watching. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you tomorrow.